One of the biggest challenges new consultants face is figuring out how much to charge for their services. If this sounds like you and you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure about setting your pricing, then you are in the right place. Because today on CPTV, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to price your consulting services, just like I did, the journey that I've gone through, so that you can attract clients and keep your income flowing. So, let's get to work. Step number one in choosing the right pricing for your services is really defining your ideal customer through objective data gained from market research. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking I sound like a broken record because almost every single tip and tool that I give you related to marketing or your business starts with know your ideal client. But, that just goes to show you the importance of really being able to say that you are an expert in who you are serving and who you are selling to. It is definitely a journey to get to know your ideal client, but you cannot price your services effectively without knowing, not assuming who you are selling to. So I need you to ask yourself a few questions as you begin to map out what your pricing structure might look like. First, who needs my services, right? Second, what are their pain points and challenges that my services are trying to address? Third, what are their buying habits? What can they afford? Am I targeting a person that fits into the range of prices that I'm thinking about charging? By understanding all three of those questions, you're going to get closer to the right price for your services. And that really does come from doing your market research and identifying that ideal client. Also, researching your competitors is going to be very, very important in this step. Because what your competitors have been doing with their pricing is going to help you really understand when you are overshooting what your price is going to be, or when you're really, really undershooting what your prices should be. And that's oftentimes where a lot of the stress comes from, when people are putting a price out there and then that anxiety kicks in and you're like, am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? Can I charge more? Well, market research, competitor research, knowing your ideal customer will all give you the confidence and a great baseline to begin pricing your services from. So make sure that you're using objective data and not assumptions for whatever it is that you're thinking about pricing, that you know the customer, and that you also know where your idea about pricing puts you in the market. So you want to price your services around your customer needs, their budget, what they can afford, but also what your competitors are doing and what the market says that you should be charging. Now, if you want to know more and want more detailed help from me on how to effectively do market research, how to understand your customer and client, and how to do your competitive research, then you've got to check out the Consulting Startup Roadmap. That is the #1 freebie checklist that I've created that maybe even you already have. And what I did with that checklist was that I took it and turned it into an actual mini course. And that mini course gets deep on the steps that you've got to do to really truly start this consulting business. And it includes an in-depth discussion around ideal customer, niche, and market research. So make sure that you grab it because it's going to dive a lot deeper. And I am practically giving it away right now for super dirt cheap. So you can access that in the link in the description below or in the comments, or you can go directly to CherylCPerez.com/consulting startup roadmap. Take a look at the details and jump in, because boy, oh boy, am I going to hold your hand through that entire process. While you're down there, do not forget to like if you like where I am going with this, and subscribe if you're not already a part of the CPTV family. Liking, letting me know your comments, giving me your feedback, and sharing lets me know that the value that I'm creating is hitting home for you, and that's ultimately what this entire YouTube channel is all about. So let me know. And let's move on to step number 2. Now, step number 2, I've already mentioned, so I'm not going to go a whole lot more deeper, but again, it is researching your competition and your market. You need that information in order to know if you are even in the right ballpark. You've got to analyze your competitors' pricing and even their service offerings to see if your ideas are in line. You've got to look for gaps in the market that you can see yourself fitting into and that you can really highlight are going to be a strong suit and a skill set set for you. And then you've got to stay updated on all of that information as well. You can't just do it at the beginning of starting your business. You have to do it regularly. I do market research, competitor analysis, look at my pricing, check in on things on an annual basis. You guys have heard me talk about my annual CEO retreat before. I still take them, although last year it was kind of a shortened abridged version and it sucked. But every year I spend a day just kind of analyzing the financials that are out there and just doing nothing but giving myself and allowing myself to have the space to do this market research. If you don't schedule it, you won't do it. It is very critical work on your business time, and the research is going to really help you position your services and set the prices that are competitive and give you the confidence that you need to be able to voice what those prices are and move forward in your entrepreneurial journey. Now, step number 3 is important because it's really that you need to understand the variety of pricing strategies that are out there, and you've got to choose the one that's the best fit and that works for you. And there's no one size fits all with these pricing strategies, but there are some standard ones that exist that you may or may not be aware of. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you this list right now. Number 1 is an hourly rate. In hourly rate, you're charging based upon the time that it's taking you to actually get the service done. And it's best for kind of short-term work or one-off types of things. And if your strategy or your scope of work is not really clear, I started out in my consulting business journey with hourly rates, and I don't do them anymore. And honestly, I don't recommend that when you're starting out, you start here. I do recommend that you keep track of how long it's taking you to get things done. Now that's important because ultimately the pricing strategy that I use now, which is package-based, which I'm going to get into here shortly, is based around how many hours it takes me and my team to get a particular service provided. And I make sure that that hourly rate that now I've put myself at is covered in that overall project-based cost. But hourly rates comes along with lots of cons that I don't necessarily like. And one of them is when you are charging someone hourly for a service, you are in essence exchanging time for dollars. That is very, very similar to working as an hourly employee for someone else, because how long it's going to take you to get that particular service done is very, very, very up in the air, right? The person that you're working with may be assuming that it's taking you too long, so you're charging me too much. Or you may not necessarily be giving yourself and allowing yourself or keeping track of the right amount of time that it takes to get something done. And when you are charging by the hour, it's very, very easy for your customer to receive an invoice, have no idea what they were going to be up against in the beginning, and then say, well, this took much longer. I need to find somebody else who can do it quicker. You could also be someone who gets stuff done really fast, and that means that you're undercutting the value of what you're providing. So I moved away from hourly rates probably in business number 2 because I hated it. And I also hated the idea of my customers and clients being able to weigh my value and what I was providing them with simply by the amount of time that it took me, because they were hiring me for a specific expertise and skill set that they obviously didn't already have in-house. And if it was that valuable for them to contract with me in order to get it done, then they've already placed more value on the service than I placed by charging them by the hour. So yes, it's an option and it's a strategy. And if you want to do it that way, you can, but honestly, I recommend against it and would prefer that you just keep track of how long it's taking you so that you can use that to create some project-based or value-based types of strategies. Now, project-based is the next type of strategy that is available out there, and that's a set fixed price based upon a project. And this is what I currently use today. Now, how I figure out what that pricing strategy is inside of it, how long it takes to do that project and what the project price is a combination of the number of hours it takes for me and my team to get it done and the value that it's ultimately bringing the client. But I do all project-based pricing right now. And it's a fixed price because it basically says, here's a set of specific deliverables that you're going to get for this project. This is the result that you're going to receive from me doing this project for you. And as long as my clients get that result and they get those deliverables, they never really truly question the project-based rate. Most of the time they say, wow, I get so much for this price, even if the price is $25,000, $35,000, or even $40,000. So I like project-based pricing, and it really does have its advantages, but one of the things you have to do if you do this is have a very clear scope of work that includes deliverables so that you can say, this is all the stuff that you're getting. And that helps prevent scope creep, which a lot of people deal with when they're doing project-based work, which is why some people don't like project-based, but I do like it. The third is value-based pricing. And again, I use value-based pricing as well right now in my business. And that is that you're pricing your services based upon the value, the results, the transformation that you are providing your client. This works well when your expertise really impacts the client's experience and their success, and they can really say that they went from a pain point or a challenge to a complete solution all because of you. So like I said, right now I use a combination of project-based and value-based in my pricing strategy, and I have found over my last few businesses that that works the best for me. And then you can also do a retainer-based type of pricing, which I have used and actually still have maybe 5 clients that are on retainer-based services. And this is when you're charging a regular, ongoing monthly fee for them to have continued access to your services. Now, this also requires you to be very specific about what they get on that retainer, but it's great for long-term relationships and predictable income. I love it because every single month I know I have a certain aspect of my revenue that's going to come in from my retainer-based clients. And it also is very value-based in that respect as well. So I do have some clients that have complete access to me, email support. We can jump on a call at any time. They can request certain documents. They're more my HR consulting clients when I'm really focusing that on general operations, but on HR specifically, and then just giving them ongoing HR support. So retainer-based is also kind of a pricing strategy that you can use. And so I use a combination of probably the last 3 that I mentioned to you in my business, and I found that over the years, they've worked really, really well, and it's definitely something that you should look into, okay? So you've got to understand the different pricing strategies that I just mentioned. You have to match the pricing strategy to your business goals and needs, and take a little bit of my experience and see about incorporating it, because ultimately what you end up with may change. You may need to tweak it. You may go up or down on your prices, but it gives you a great place to be able to start. And that really brings me to step number 4. And I've already mentioned it when I talked about it in step number 3, but that's continually testing and refining your pricing strategy. Look, being an entrepreneur is a long game. It is a marathon. It is something that you will do for a very long time, ideally. And pricing is not set in stone. It is actually something that you need to look at on an annual basis. I have been known and am notorious for not increasing my prices, especially for my retainer-based clients. I probably haven't increased prices, even though inflation has gone up $1 million freaking dollars. I haven't increased prices on my retainer-based clients in probably 5 years. And it's something that I've contemplated looking at and doing, but it is something that you've got to kind of evaluate and tweak on an annual basis. I'm not sure why I haven't increased it on my retainer clients, probably because they've been with me for so long. In my mind, they've got like built-in customer loyalty, and I've got real strong values around loyalty. Those of you who are watching who know me personally, you know how I feel about some loyalty. And I know that's not good business, but you know, it is what it is. But you've got to test and refine it. You've got to start with a price when you're first starting out that reflects your value and covers your costs at the very least. And then get some feedback from your clients and adjust accordingly. Regularly review your prices. Do not feel locked in. Do not be fearful of this process. The beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur is that you get to choose what you charge and ultimately what you're worth. And as your business grows, your pricing will most likely go up. I know for me, my business has grown, so my pricing has gone up. As I added team members, as I took on salaries, as I've taken on operational costs, as we've added software, as we've added tools, as we've added value-added services for our clients, the prices go up. And your clients expect that to happen the same way that their prices have probably gone up over the years. But I would definitely say the only way that you're gonna know and be able to really adjust, sometimes you guys ask me why I'm always doing that. It's hot, y'all. I got lights in here, okay? Lights. Anyway, and it get hot real quick. So yeah, I'm hot. And you know, not to mention my age. I mean, I get hot. I don't know if it's a hot flash or what, but I digress. Anyway, regularly reviewing it and remembering your pricing strategy should definitely evolve as your business grows. That is the biggest piece of advice that I can give you. And number one thing too to think about is don't be afraid. You can change your prices whenever you want to. Yeah, this your thing. It's the beauty of being the boss. So there you have it, step-by-step roadmap and guide to how to price your consulting services. Remember, defining your ideal customer is first. Research your competition and your market. Understand the different pricing strategies that I went over with you today. Test your pricing, tweak them, and adjust accordingly. And until you find the right price point, you're doing the right thing. Trust me, because you're the boss. Do not forget to access the Consulting Startup Roadmap if you want more detailed help with this process and want me to guide you through specifically what to do. Please make sure you grab it. Link in the description below. You can grab it down here again, CherylCPerez.com/consulting startup roadmap. And until next time, my loves, let me know if you've got questions about pricing. Even shoot out what you're offering and maybe what your price that you're thinking about is in the comments below. And I'll make sure that myself or somebody from the team chimes in and gives you our opinion. Otherwise, until next time, my loves, I will see you real soon. Bye-bye. Mwah!